on Mountain News at 5:30. Folks in Estill County are facing another set of issues on top of flood recovery efforts. And the Trump administration continues with their efforts to overhaul federal agencies.
And we're getting a break in the snow, but more is on the way. Details in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Amelia Lee. The snow has arrived here in eastern Kentucky, and we're not done with the wintry precipitation for now. But are we going to see more soon? It's time now to check on in with meteorologist Eric Dean on this First Alert Weather Day. Eric, what are we expecting?
We will see. Short answer is yes, Amelia. We will see more snow pushing through in the evening and overnight hours. Some places could pick up another 1 to 3 inches depending on your location. Take a look here at some storm reports from earlier today near the Steubenville area. Picked up 4 inches. Go over towards the Quicksand area. Picked up 3 inches. The Tyner area picked up 3 inches. Over towards the Cary area picked up 2 inches. That's in Knott County. That was near the Walker's Branch area. Over towards the Louisa area, Louisa picked up 3.5 inches of snow. So here's a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. Again, all is quiet for now, but if you look off towards the west, you can see another line of snow that's going to push its way into eastern Kentucky. Right now, we're seeing temperatures in the upper teens and low 20s. Look at Breathitt County near Jackson, 21 degrees already. Our humidity is sitting at 80%. So again, we're going to keep the cloud cover in play as we go throughout the next several hours. Snow chances will pick up as well. Temperatures right now in the teens and 20s as we help you plan your evening hours. We'll go down to 16, keeping the snow chance in the forecast. But there is a break just in time for the weekend. We'll talk about that in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Amelia.
All right, thank you, Eric. While the Monticello Police Department saw slick conditions while making their rounds this morning. They shared this video of what the roads looked like at approximately 7 o'clock. You can see nothing had been plowed at that point. They are also asking people to pay extra attention on the roads. We are continuing to monitor the cleanup and ongoing challenges faced by communities in eastern Kentucky. Many woke up to snowfall on top of weekend flooding. Jessica Umbro talked with one homeowner right on the Kentucky River, whose home is now only reachable by boat.
What was it like just seeing it start to pile up this time around?
Well, we left 3 days ago because it was starting to get up, but it was getting across the driveway. And I told my wife, and she said, yeah, we got to get going.
Frankie McFarland says he and his wife found a place to stay in Powell County to wait out the floods.
I came over here yesterday and it was even with the porch. Just something to go and you pray it won't happen, you know, but sometimes it does.
McFarland says this year's flooding was not as bad as major floods in recent years, but the fear was there.
I thought we were going to lose everything again, you know. I thought it'd take the house and everything, but we got lucky. It always got like to the second step, you know, as far as it ever got. But then that big flood came, and then I figured it'd never get like that again.
Estill County Emergency Management Director Ronnie Riddle says some of the more remote areas of the county, especially those right along the Kentucky River, can be difficult to monitor and respond to.
They call you or they don't, you know, you kind of have to get eyes on sometimes to see whether they're actually there or not. And some people stay and ride it out as if they think they're not going to be affected.
McFarland says despite the risks, his family has lived on the property for generations, and it's a risk he's willing to take.
We'll just do the best we can. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
We'll go on, you know, because we've got memories here, you know, it's lasted a lifetime.
In Estill County, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
People impacted by floodwaters are getting a little bit of help from some of their neighbors to the north. A flood drive is taking place in Boyd County. Local municipalities are asking their communities to drop off items that will be taken to those affected by flooding later this week. Erica Bonner with the City of Ashland says cleaning supplies are essential, as well as hygiene products, bottled water, baby items, pet food, and small tools like flashlights or batteries.
It's not us that's being directly affected, but in 2 weeks it could be. And our neighbors, we know, will be right there to help pick us back up. So we just want to make sure we return that favor and do anything we can to help those folks out.
Drop-off locations include the Ashland Central Fire Station, Ashland Transportation Center, and the Catlettsburg City Hall. The donations will be delivered to those in Pike County. Amid the severe weather across much of the country, some drivers in Tulsa, Oklahoma are doing what they can to make sure people get to their jobs safely. Bobby Edlin volunteers with a group called Jeepers Anonymous. They are Jeep enthusiasts who are answering the call from workers concerned about driving in potentially dangerous conditions.
I was able to help somebody that didn't feel safe or comfortable driving in this weather and to be able to get them to work and provide the services that they needed to others.
Everyone Edlin picked up yesterday was a healthcare worker. 2 people are dead after 2 planes collided in midair near an airport in Arizona this morning. Police responded to the scene of an aircraft crash at the Marana Regional Airport at around 8:30 local time near Avara Valley and San Diego roads. 2 people were on board both planes. The status of the others involved in the crash are not known. The crash comes after a Delta plane landed upside down earlier this week at an airport in Toronto. Well, there is pushback from some on Capitol Hill as the impact of President Donald Trump's cuts to just about every federal agency begins to be felt. CBS's Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
Protesters rallied outside the Department of Health and Human Services after a couple thousand employees at the Centers for Disease Control, National Institutes of Health, and the Food and Drug Administration were let go in the last week.
Congress, do something.
Yes, we're looking for a few good Republicans to come over and join the Democrats and overturn this radical assault on science and health care in America.
So far, most Republican lawmakers say the cuts at HHS and many other federal agencies are needed.
Our national debt has become a national security issue, and we understand that we're going to have to make some changes, some difficult changes, but at the same time, we have the responsibility to the taxpayers and the American people to get our financial burdens in order.
While most Republicans are siding with the president, a few have voiced concerns the cuts are indiscriminate and could jeopardize safety. The U.S. Department of Agriculture admitted it had accidentally fired some veterinarians and animal health technicians working to prevent the spread of bird flu. The agency said it was working to swiftly rectify the situation and rescind dismissal letters.
Workers were let go who are working on avian flu, and the fact that workers have also been fired who are responsible for nuclear safety shows that we need a far more careful approach.
The acting head of the FAA also issued a letter to employees saying that while some newer employees were let go last week, the agency continues to hire air traffic controllers and other safety professionals. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
The top federal prosecutor in Washington, D.C. told DOJ staffers that employees working for DOJ have been receiving threats, and he says protecting those workers will be a Justice Department priority. President Donald Trump plans to impose tariffs of around 25% on auto imports, as well as semiconductor chips and pharmaceuticals shipped to the United States. The new tariff could begin as early as April. For tariffs on semiconductor chips and drugs, the president intends to eventually increase the rate. But he said he wants to give time for potentially affected companies to bring their factories to America. More than 900 former federal prosecutors have signed a letter defending New York prosecutors who have faced pressure to drop charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. They said orders from top Justice Department officials to drop the Adams case put prosecutors in an untenable position. The letter stated these prosecutors are dealing with, quote, ethical challenges of a type no public servant should ever be forced to confront. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has joined efforts to rescind termination letters for critical jobs. According to a source, more than 700 CDC employees have been fired since Friday. The agency did not specify which jobs they're trying to protect. The CDC now joins the Agriculture Department in attempts to revoke terminations. The USDA said letters were sent to their employees working on the bird flu.